Continuing with our Embassy Row segment here on BNL, we shall take off where we left off, our one-on-one interview with the sitting French ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Ambassador Thierry Mathou. Thank you so much for kindly waiting, Mr. Ambassador. Now, with your permission, let's move on to the different spheres of cooperation that our two countries possibly engage in, starting with education.
Oh yes, indeed. Actually, the youth and the students are on the top of our priority in the Philippines. And as a matter of fact, we started this year, in 2017, by signing an agreement with CHID. We created a scholarship program, so it's very important. There are few countries which signed this kind of agreement with the Philippines. And the idea of this scholarship program, of course, is to offer opportunities to students in the Philippines to go to France to study. But the idea is also to have students going both ways. So we also expect more French students to come to the Philippines to study. So yes, students really are the top of our priority in our initiatives at the embassy.
Can we move on to sports, Mr. Ambassador? Are our countries currently engaged in any sports programs?
Yeah, so sports, French like sports as you do. Maybe we are not the same addicts to the same sport as you are. Clearly here it's basket, in France it's much more soccer, okay? But we also like cycling. I'm sure you heard about the Tour de France, a cycling tour around France. Actually, you also like cycling here. And within our program this year, Feel France, Feel French, we launch a cycling tour of Manila. And actually, sports is something we'd like to exchange more, and we have some ideas to develop our cooperation.
Moving on now to the leisure side, can you tell us what destinations in the Philippines have you visited?
Well, I have been to different places, from far north to Davao, to Palawan, to Iloilo, Ilocos, Cebu, so many places. So you have 7,000 islands. Obviously, I won't be able to visit all of them. But what's very interesting in your country is that it's very diverse. Obviously, you have wonderful beaches, but when you go north to the Cordillera, you have interesting countryside and mountains. So very diverse country. So for an ambassador, it's an opportunity to visit different places, to visit NGOs, because we have lots of NGOs active in different parts of the country. Also to try to visit French citizens. We have quite a lot in the country, in different places. So as much as I can, I take opportunity to go out from Manila.
With all the destinations that you've been, which of these destinations strike you most?
Well, difficult to say. Obviously, Palawan is heaven, actually. Very interesting, places. I think we have, all of us, when I say, obviously it's a job of a government of the Philippines, but France and the French embassy is very eager to help. We have to do a lot to attract more tourists to come in the Philippines, because, the destination is not so well known, in Europe. So actually, this is also a sector of our cooperation. Back in 2015, we signed an agreement with the government of the Philippines to enhance our cooperation in the sector of tourism. And actually, we have taken a different initiative, of course, to attract more Filipinos to go to France, but also to invite more French to visit the Philippines.
How would you say we can further promote travel and tourism between our two countries?
Well, different ways. Actually, I hope that some days we can resume a direct airline route between our two countries, between Manila, for instance, and Paris. But as I said, we take different initiatives. We are discussing with agencies to help them organize tours in France and in the Philippines. I also have discussion with the Department of Tourism. Our intention, within our program, Feel France, Feel French, is to bring into the Philippines activity, music, for instance. We launch a concept which is called La Fête de la Musique, a music festival, on the 21st of June. The idea is to organize open, free concerts for everybody to attend. So we are discussing actually with the Department of Tourism, which is a partner of this initiative. And once again, the idea is to feature the Philippines as a destination where you can do music, you can visit different places. So really, tourism is a part of our cooperation.
Now, for Filipinos mulling to go to your beautiful country, where do you suggest they should go?
Well, already many Filipinos go to France. They like to go, of course, to Paris, but it's also very significant for you guys to go to Lourdes and to Lisieux, because obviously these places have a great significance for you, and we are very happy actually to support this kind of visit. But I would also invite all the people to visit other places in France, for instance, in the south, on the seashore, or in Brittany. Our country is very diverse also.
I understand that you have this year-long event known as Feel French. Can you please tell us all about it?
Yes, so as I said, Feel France, Feel French is a new French festival. We decided to launch it in the framework of the 70th anniversary of the bilateral relation between France and the Philippines. So it's a very unique concept. First of all, because it will be throughout the year, a year-long event, and actually it will be organized every year. And second, it's not a one-shot operation, not only on one sector, but it's organized throughout, around 5 clusters: art and culture, art de vivre. Art de vivre in French means way of living, economy, the youth and knowledge, and also values. So we organize all kinds of events, concerts, seminars, fashion show, food market, different activities to reach out to the public, to give them the opportunity to feel France, because it's the name. So feel, the first is feel as in the Philippines, and the second is feel, F-E-E-L, as in feeling, because we want to give the opportunity to our friends in the Philippines to better feel France through culture, art, economy and high-tech.
Mr. Ambassador, Miss Universe was just held recently here in the Philippines, and Miss France actually won the crown. How do you think her winning the very prestigious Miss Universe crown could help promote further your country, say in terms of tourism?
Oh yes, definitely. Actually, it was a great symbol. It was a symbol of a friendship between France and the Philippines. It was a coincidence that this happened in the middle of a celebration of the 70th anniversary between France and the Philippines, and we are very happy that a French lady was elected after a Filipino lady. Actually, Iris will be back in the Philippines. We know that, so it means that she likes the country. And for us, it's a great support, because, I've noticed that in your country, this kind of activity is very important. So once again, it's a great support to promote our Feel France, Feel French festival, but once again, a great symbol of a friendship between France and the Philippines.
Mr. Ambassador, you've been very kind sharing with us your very precious time as our distinguished guest on our Embassy Row segment. It has been a very refreshing and informative experience for me, and absolutely for our viewers as well. But before we finally end this rare privilege, you may have a message for our viewers. The camera is yours.
Well, very simple. Please join us on the Feel France, Feel French festival, and I'm sure you will find many opportunities to feel our country and to see that we share all the same values.
Thank you very much once again, Mr. Ambassador. In closing, allow me to express our hope as a people that you enjoy the rest of your stay in the Philippines, and we wish your Philippine France Feel French Festival all the success it deserves.
Thank you.
That was the Ambassador of France to the Philippines, His Excellency Thierry Mathou, our esteemed guest this week on Embassy Road.